And they do. They ran out with an Ember Spirit here for the mid lane, and that's definitely going to be Canis Vulpus. But the flexibility you have from the Venomancer, Visage, Tidehunter, I mean, typically it's going to be the Tidehunter 3, but I mean, we've seen Tidehunter rotate to a 5 position. Arkosh wouldn't surprise me if they wanted to run it in the safe lane for some unknown reason, but yeah, I do like the Venomancer here. I think this is a sick pickup. The Ember Spirit, obviously pretty good against the TA. I think this matchup is better for the TA now than it used to be since the changes to the Meld Strike. But we'll see what Lava decide to pick up here for themselves.
Yeah, and from them, it feels like it's either going to be an MJZ hero or it could be a different hero from Moose if they do want to start swapping it around a little bit. But at the same time, I'm kind of just figuring out how hard they want to try in this game. And okay, the Legion Commander, of course, as we keep saying, it's the third offlaner in the game. Already seeing the Mars and the Beastmaster banned out. The LC does definitely slip through, as well as one of the best heroes to match up versus that Tidehunter because you have that persistent disable. If you can get the Tide killed off at the beginning of these fights, it's going to feel pretty good for you. Not to mention that Arkosh, in that same situation they keep finding themselves in, they've got absolutely no save. If you're the one starting the fight on lava, then unfortunately, Arkosh can't really do that much, but that's where this Venomancer is a pretty beautiful pick, because yet again, Lava have picked another initiator where if you can spoil the play with the Venom wards, Lava are forced into this situation where they need to be really tight with their smokes. Otherwise, their plays are going to be very few and far between, and something that this Venom just spoils almost automatically.
Yeah, I like the Skywrath ban here. I mean, they just need to remove. I'm assuming it's going to be Core Magnus here for the offlane for Frank. That would make the most sense. So at this point, you just need to pick up your 5 position here for Lava. So Skywrath Mage, any other hero that combos well with the Legion Commander, you should probably deal with as well. I'm not really sure like what Arkosh need to pick up for themselves. Like it is definitely going to be the safe lane hero for Pale Horse. The question is just like what can you pick? They ban out the Life Stealer against the Legion Commander.
Hmm.
You could ban out
I
the
don't
Troll
know.
Warlord.
Yeah, you could ban the troll. You could say that we need this type of ban because, of course, we've got a melee hero in the offlane. We know it's very easy for him to counter it out. I can't imagine they look for something very squishy like, say, the Terrorblade again, because I feel like that would just immediately die to mine. Same with the Luna pick. I feel like that's just not really in the playbook. I mean, Arkosh could be completely boring and pick a hero like the Medusa, who is one of
No,
the
she's
better
banned.
carries. Oh yeah, you're right. She is banned out in that first phase. Then really it's just the Wraith King I feel like is the more obvious pick, but that's also where you're not an S tier. You're not an A-lister here in this meta, at least as of yet. And in addition to that, if they pick a hero that ends up being too big, we've already
Wow.
seen what happens when you pick those huge heroes versus Mag.
I mean, we knew it's a good Phantom Lancer game. I just didn't think it was necessary against the Legion, and they're gonna go ahead and just grab the Razor. Okay, so a lane dominator to just make sure that this Legion doesn't kind of snowball off the lane, which is kind of where I was leaning towards. I like this hero, pretty strong, natural BKB builder as well as the refresher. But we saw the exact situation earlier with a Razor against the Magnus. Like he pops the BKB, just gets instantly RP'd and shuts down the Razor's ability to team fight there. We'll see how if they can make it work with the Monkey's Forever Tidehunter though, since that will help out quite a bit. But last pick for
Yeah.
Lava, what do you think they need? It's got to be the 5, right?
It's got to be the 5. I think that's where Arkosh are making this play. Of course, they're banning out 4 heroes, saying that it could be a Techie's 5. Their lanes really do feel a little bit awkward because, of course, this LC, it almost feels like it has to be Frank's hero, but Frank's also played the Magnus, but the Magnus got so hard countered in the draft already. I'm really scrambling for like the best fit for them. If they really wanted, they could switch up the draft completely and go for a hero like the Storm Spirit that Leo Style has played time and time again already. If they don't go for the Storm, we could see them turn around again and, like you said, look for another support. They could pick up a hero like the Abaddon, which plays well versus both the Tidehunter and the Venomancer, but then you don't have that much lockdown. And
All
okay,
right,
they
back
pick
to
up
the
the
silencer.
Silencer. Yeah. I mean, we've already seen how good these 5s are at the silencer. It feels like they always come in at the perfect time. And that's also where Lava's a little bit different because their 5 isn't the silencer. Moose is the only one who's been playing the silencer very consistently in that 4 position, gives it a little bit more farm, and that is Frank on the Magnus as well. So I think just really banking on this being a slightly more successful lane. It's pretty obnoxious for Pale Horse to deal with, but definitely something that's not going to completely shut out the Razor. And that's Monkeys Forever actually over on the Visage. So okay, here we go.
Yeah, they're actually switching this one up a little bit. And we can see Kataro grabbing the Templar Assassin Leo style on the Legion. So it is going to be the mid Legion, which is something that, you know, we see pulled out of South America every once in a while. Decent into the Ember Spirit, actually, as well. So I like this one a lot. But you're right. Yeah, it is Monkeys Forever on the Visage. I know he has a lot of experience on this hero. He has played it quite a bit. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Like, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot in this lane against the safe lane TA.
No, not at all. Your hero really doesn't match up too well. Of course, this is an age-old matchup of move it over to the mid lane where you don't really do anything versus the TA. You have to play more around those range creep denies, just timing it well with the Gravekeeper, or rather the attack slow that comes from your Q. Otherwise, Kataro is gonna have a relatively free time. In addition to that, if Monkeys Forever ever eats a Meld Strike, he just has to walk away. And I think that's where maybe you're going to be a little bit happier because you do have, I think, Crow on what looks like the 4 Tide Hunter. It's a little bit awkward. They've definitely made their lanes feel a little bit weird on the Arkosh side, but that is Arkosh. It's pick weird lanes, get Pale Horse on a very big farmer, and then Candace Vulpes on a Spirit. I feel like even though they've got some very different picks coming out from their opponents, they've got more or less a very Arkoshy lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we are. We've got Arkosh versus Lava. Game 1 of our 3rd series here today. And Arkosh coming off a 0-2 against Hokori. They need to pull up some wins. We're going to see smoke out from both teams. Lava going for that quick ward into the mid. I think onto the enemy side. And he is going to get that place there on Leo. Well, maybe. Yeah, he is going to get a place there on Leo style. Hasn't quite popped the smoke yet, though, as they're going to wrap around and find Silencer. Gush comes out, and that is going to be a rough situation for the Silence Heroes. Gale comes through. Frank has to just watch as his comrade goes down here. Okay, never mind. He gets the deny, and he skewers away Pale Horse, so that is pretty sick.
That's so good. And not to mention that Arkosh, they need to win. And they don't just need to win, they need to... I think 1-1 or 2-0. If they 2-0, they knock out Black and Yellow. That's it. That's the end of Black and Yellow's life, but they are coming against a very big opponent. I think even if they 1-1, they might knock out Black and Yellow with Black and Yellow getting 2-0'd by D2 Hustlers. There might be some very strange strength of schedule there, but dog here. Huh.
So is this a Silencer stand-in? Because this does not look... I'm assuming it's not an accidental, like, name selection, right? Like, that's not Moose, right?
I'm pretty sure it is Moose. It's just not his account, which is funny because he's the only one that does this on their team. They also aren't confirmed for his stand-in, I'm pretty sure. It's just Moose with a very weird account that he's playing on. Because, yeah, they have never used his stand-in so far in this tournament. It's just been Moose/Kim. Not an official name change because, of course, he doesn't have any of the pro tags attached at all. It's just... him maybe distancing himself from the other account. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a fresh Dota account. It's not new. It is like an entirely new Dota account. So interesting. Not his main. Oh, Crow. He knows they have a ward in the mid lane as a result of those few auto attacks.
Yeah, and unfortunately, yet again, never gets a small camp in. Nice little Gush over there, and Crow with the boots. I mean, MJZ, he always has that suicide, so you can never really go for those kills, but they're chasing this techies quite a lot, and yeah, Monkeys does make a break for the top lane, because business has to be done. You have to get something, a little bit of a lead versus Kataro, because, oh my goodness, when Kataro just gets a free game, he just carries 1v9. His anti-mage, his TA, he gets so big so fast.
Yeah, and this is not going to be an easy lane to CS. Like, Visage is not known for having a lot of damage. I mean, 50 damage to start this out. I mean, you pretty much just rely on Grave Chill to try and secure CS, but it's a lot of mana. Like, this hero, like, I'm so confused as to why they went for this. Like, Visage just feels like such a non-hero nowadays.
Yeah, and people were excited. Of course, they got the projectile change at the same time that Pugna got his. People were like, oh, you're shooting bullets now. You're able to actually last hit. But unfortunately, it's not really the case. You still need that early buildup, and without being a mid laner, you don't have items like the Null that you can just rush immediately. And unfortunately, as well, you have a side lane, so you need to see Monkeys Forever getting pretty much all of the XP here, while Crow is going to take a back seat. Unfortunately, Crow's Tide Hunter. He needs the 6 just as much as the Visage does, and we'll have to see how they weigh that concern, because I don't think it's looking good for them if both of them are sitting around that level 4, level 5 time around the 10-minute mark.
Mid lane, we have a little bit of a stalemate. They did bring Pale Horse to mid lane on the Razor to go up against the Legion Commander, so a little bit of a better matchup as opposed to having the Ember Spirit there. So Canis Volbus going to take the safe lane here and go up against Frank, but just gets skewered underneath the tower. Does have a Sleight of Fist, but still taking so much damage, and he's just might go down. Let's pop the Fairy Fire, not able to keep himself alive. Gremlo walks right past him and gets the tower in top lane. MJZ actually goes down first blood to Monkeys Forever. You lose the Venomancer bottom in the process, but first blood for this Visage is huge. I'm assuming... No, Blastoff was already on cooldown, so I guess just caught out a little bit too far forward. The gush damage is pretty significant, and Kataro just getting slapped here. They get him. They take him down with the Soul Assumption.
It's just huge. It does so much damage. You need to be so cautious. It's the one attribute of Visage that has always been good, and of course, playing with the Tide Hunter, as soon as you hit level 2, if you can break through that refraction with, of course, not very many attacks, because it is just level 1, you get that free kill. Bottom lane, though, gonna lose Gremlo again, and Canis Volbus.
He should be able to trade. Nice body blocks there. Didn't want Frank to get the deny, so that was pretty smart. And yeah, another 1-for-1 trade in the bottom. Canis Volbus actually doing really well here on the Ember Spirit because of these deaths from Gremlo. He's actually allowed Canis Volbus to get a lot of experience.
Yeah, he's already level 4.5. Of course, laning versus a Mag who is in a very similar position, doesn't really care all too much. It's unfortunate that Veno did die twice, so he is going to be out of lane for quite a bit here. So this Tango is Canis Volbus' last. And
oh, he dodged the curse. And he gets...
That's sick. And
is he dead? Is Frank dead? Frank's dead. What a play by Canis Volbus there. That was nasty.
Ooh, I mean, it's just so quick and easy. And that's solo laning. That's huge for him because now you just have that much more gold. He could buy an Orb of Corrosion. He could buy his boots. And
he just
if
buys
you
a
get
bottle.
level 6, then okay. I mean, that's just as good as well. That's your reset right there. And if he survives to level 6, I mean, he is completely moving past the weakness of this Ember Spirit having its stint in the safe lane. Unfortunately,
he gets the Searing Chains off, but this time doesn't end up surviving. Like you said, needed to survive just to get that bottle, but ended up taking just a little bit too long as Gremlo was busy placing some wards in enemy jungle. Or no, these are all here from original. He just went for the long walk to take their bounty rune, and he might end up just dying because of it. Slowed down here from the curse. Skewer forward. Frank just chases down the spider, or the little snake.
Yeah, he doesn't really have anything. He doesn't have a laning partner. Of course, he had just gotten picked off earlier. It's a little bit strange from him, but default Veno really does feel bad. Of course, he picks up the Windlace now at 280 MS. You really got to be very careful with your positioning, but look at this huge stack. They're already getting over for lava. Fortunately, Frank, nice chains, but yeah, it's just a little bit too far.
Well, he gets the Gale off onto Frank, so Gremlo going to be quite annoying here. Just making the Magnus unable to really contest this farm of the Ember Spirit. Meanwhile, top lane, they managed to find a kill onto MJZ before that Blastoff comes through, and Kataro, he's out of refractions, gonna have another stack here in just a second, and Crow manages to walk right up to that mine. I actually didn't even hear it arm.
Yeah, me neither. Maybe that's some sick play from Kataro there. You pop the refraction as soon as it arms, so maybe it's some sensory overload there, but I mean, that's just sick from him. And this lane really did need to start going better for Kataro. Of course, they are sapping that XP pretty much 50-50 between the Visage and the Tide, but it's just the Soul Assumption damage coming out. I don't think that MJZ is necessarily prepared to play versus this hero, so he keeps on getting caught before that suicide actually finishes himself off.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting build here for Monkeys. He's got the 2 points in the Gravekeeper's Cloak. He just doesn't want to be worrying about, you know, not being able to sustain the lane. So Gravekeeper's Cloak makes this hero pretty dang tanky.
Yeah.
And you were talking about
gotta
it
be
earlier,
careful.
right? Having no armor on this hero, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and you got to be scared for your birds because, of course, you get that Gravekeeper's Cloak on them as well, and it's something that's the worst part of the hero is just you summon it, you're a little bit too far away from you, they instantly die, and of course they are going to die versus the Sideblades if they ever get caught underneath, let's say, a trap, but they do still want to get aggressive. They got the second point of Gush here, but I feel like this top lane is going to be more or less drawn at this rate. I don't think they can really afford to make too many crazy plays. But Monkeys is pretty adept at walking into those mines, at the very least. The Gravekeeper's Cloak does help him at
Yeah,
that.
that, as I say, he's using the Gravekeeper's Cloak to just soak the mine damage, which is pretty smart, allowing Crow to be a little bit more aggressive. But MJZ, he's gone for an early point in the stasis trap. And with the summons here from the Visage, it's time for the TA to leave the lane.
Yep, there's nothing that Kotaro can do anymore.
He's going to just chase down the techies here.
Yeah,
Gush comes out. He's
MJZ.
dead. What a sick
Perfect.
play. They got him. Well played there by Monkeys. The drops on those familiars right on the money. They won't be able to keep the catapult alive, unfortunately for them, as that would have been a sick way of being able to push that tower, but Monkeys is still wave dragging.
On bottom, they just find moves just a little bit too far forward. It feels like Lava are just not used to what their opponents are playing right now. They've got very different lanes. Oh, the dual he turned.
Yeah, no,
he didn't have boots.
He couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just saw a level 6 Legion running at him, and he's like, oh, I'm dead.
Man, and at the very least, Pale Horse is also doing very well in his lane. We'll have to see how farm-oriented he decides to play. This is a fantastic Yules game if he decides to go for it. That's one of the few good items you can go versus the TA as well, because you just immediately link her up. Of course, you never want to stand immediately next to the TA because you are very susceptible to that anti-armor until you get an armor item for yourself, but put her in the air, link her up, don't really do anything for a little bit, and then she comes back down doing negative 180. I can only imagine that's where Pale Horse is going to go with his build.
I mean, a part of me thinks he might just rush the BKB this game. Did he just die? Where even is he?
He died to a overwhelming. He stood right in the middle of the stack, so
He took a 4 hero over level 4 overwhelming odds.
yeah.
Yeah, I did 300 magic damage. Okay, that'll do it. Crow top lane goes down to MJZ and Kotaro.
I mean, it's just too easy for them to make a lot of these plays, and if there's anything to be said about both the TA and the techies, it is their territory. It is going to feel very difficult for Arkosh to actually stamp their feet over in Kataro's jungle, because, of course, you have these choke points kind of warded off, and nice little play from Kotaro, knowing Monkeys doesn't have any vision, but that's where back in the mid lane, over where Moose has been stacking, Canis Vulpus rotates out of the jungle, and they tried to take a look at some of these stacks, and unfortunately, I believe Leostone had already made his way through, but at the same time, you are taking a little bit of this jungle away from your opponents, and you do scout out this triple stack of Ancients.
Frank has a Meteor Hammer here on this offlane Magnus. I mean, we've seen this a few times, offlaners picking this item up when they didn't have a lot of early game tower push, and I mean, looking at Lava, you know that they don't. It's just going to be the TA when she picks up some items, so Frank deciding, you know, I need to get this bottom tower eventually. He goes ahead and drops the RP on the Tide Hunter, pulls him over to Leo style for that duel. A sick play there. He's going to grab himself his second duel victory of the game, and they'll go ahead and finish up this bottom tower. Fortification is available, but they forget to use it, so it's, you know, just a little bit of the small play police calling in. Mid lane Pale Horse does grab the enemy mid tower, though, so overall a great trade for Arkosh.
I mean, look at top. Kotaro is a hostage right now. He's got the refraction, but he's
only got 3 charges left, and he's got a drop on the familiar. He gets the vision. He's not going to get the detection. He doesn't have it quite yet. Does he have dust coming on Courier? Oh boy, he does. Kotaro trying to run. He's out of mana. Huh? He's got it now. He'll be fine.
It's so close. If only Monkeys had it just a few minutes earlier, then I think they would have gotten at least 2 kills onto that TA, but that's Crow's job, you know. Well, we'll see how Monkeys actually makes his way out onto the rest of the map, because he can't stay top forever, but oh, the global and the duel.
They got Ember. Yeah, nicely done by Leo Style. I've seen Leo Style play this Legion mid so many different times, and this guy usually snowballs so dang hard into the mid game, and he's up to 30 duel damage already here, just 11 minutes in.
Yeah, and he's the one who's eating all these empowers as well, and I mean, an incredibly farmed Legion Commander is absolutely terrifying. He's not going for the arm up build, of course. Playing versus a Veno, you don't really want to get yourself in that type of position, but once he gets this Blade Mail, he could very realistically kill Pale Horse even if he gets the static link off, because he is going for that Yule Scepter. I think that's where Pale Horse is really going to need that vision coming from the rest of his teammates to know whether or not he wants to get into a lot of these fights, and that's where, at the same time, Frank also switched his build up, was looking at item like the mech, but instead is just going immediately for that Blink Dagger. And a huge smoke coming up on a Leo Styles Blink. If they find Gremlo, oh, he's just free, but
he's got a lot of wards currently placed. Gremlo, well, he managed to take one of those mines down. Almost would have died there, but Leo Style, as well as the Silencer, rotating to the top lane. They want to focus for Monkeys Forever. It's not an easy kill, though, because of the Stone Form. Global Silence not online. Monkeys Forever. Can he actually drop them in time? Doesn't look like he misses both. And now there comes the duel from the Legion. And he's going to go down. He just has to get these familiars out of there. And he will. But another duel going the way of Leo Style. And a pretty big gold bounty going the way of the Silencer.
Yeah, and we'll see. I think Moose, he's getting his Veil of Discord right now. I think he likes items like that. The items like the Veil, like the Force Staff, just the supplemental support items. But once he gets the Veil, you're really going to see a lot more damage coming out from heroes like the Techies and like the Magnus. And then suddenly you have that secondary magic damage dealer coming in from your heroes. Got to be a little bit scared. And well, they're trying to take away this real estate from Lava. They're trying to move in, but the problem is nobody is playing there. Of course, they don't have any control of their Ancients right now. If you're Lava, you have to look for your farm elsewhere. But at the same time, Arkosh, you need to find a successful play onto that top jungle. And oh, Canis is looking for...
He's got Frank. A DD rune. He's very scary. Frank could go for the RP here. It's not an easy kill, though, as Pale Horse rotating on in as well. The level 4 Plasma Field going to slow him down just enough to help find that kill. And Leo Style, he's definitely baiting him. He knows he's got some stuff here. Gremlo ends up going down in the triangle there. It looks like he was still trying to farm that up. I'm not sure about you, but there's now been multiple times this game where I've not heard a proxy mine trigger its sound effects when people walked over it. So I'm wondering if something may be going on with that. Legion Commander will go ahead and get jumped on here. Does get the Yules off, which is a nice play there from Pale Horse. The question is, do they have the damage? They do. Canis Vulpes now chasing after his Silencer. He's just getting shredded by this Eye of the Storm. And Crow here with the Ravage ready to go. If necessary, MJZ just tosses up another kill on over to Pale Horse. Canis Vulpes is playing with... He's playing Minesweeper right now, man.
Yeah, and oh, Kitaro, he gets a kill randomly onto Gremlo there. And Canis Vulpes... Oh, don't do it. They're pinging him out, though.
There's the Ravage that comes out, and he's going to potentially come back in. No, he's TPing to base.
No.
Kitaro just slaps him. There is a Remnant down.
No.
And Spirit could come back to the fight. It looks like he will. Remnant comes through, does have the chains, but he doesn't get the detection. And now he's just going to go down. Canis Vulpes completely baited by Kitaro, and now Crow is well in trouble.
Oh, no, he's got the duel.
That is a duel.
Fair.
Oh, he doesn't even need it. Kitaro just... He's like, no. I don't need help, guys. I got this.
Oh, man. And that's the problem with Razor versus Tia. You need to be right up close and personal to get that static link. And if you don't immediately Yules, then you get hit up by the -8, and then you just die. And just without having an item like the plate mail built up, you need to look for that before you can actually feel too confident standing next to this hero. Otherwise, you're great versus the TA, but unfortunately that circumstance just comes a little bit too early. And I mean, now Kitaro, look at how much network he has. That was just the best minute of his life.
Pale Horse unable to get the static link there onto Leo Style correctly, as he had just dropped that overwhelming odds. Just too dang fast with this phase boots drum.
Going mid. Is that the tower just gonna get claimed? Looks like it.
Yeah, Frank, he backdooring that tower, just jumps away. He's doing great on the Magnus. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Leo Style gets himself another duel. This one doesn't end up being a victory, but they still take down Crow here. Backside of the fight, it is going to be a kill for Canis Vulpes. Is able to take down MJZ just in time, but the blink RP from Frank connects just in time, and Ember Spirit silenced up. Gremlo goes down as well, and Kitaro has the Deso now completed on his way to his blink dagger. I mean, this guy is just so farmed on this TA.
Oh, and I just feel so bad for Pale Horse. He just sat here. He got hit with the double meld on the Deso. I mean, it's a -20 armor Razor at that point, and Oh, monkeys, you're getting side-bladed. There's one. Okay. He's got the resummon if he really needs it to get out of here, but at the same time, we're not seeing that Visage very seamlessly able to walk over towards that mid lane, and you also see as soon as those birds get a little bit too far away from the Visage, Kataro could really care less. One meld strike, and then you just don't have a bird. It's just gone instantly, and unfortunately, once Kataro gets items like the BKB, your team fight is looking a whole lot worse on the side of Arkosh.
See what they can do here mid lane. Leo style managed to find an Invis rune looking for Canis Vulpes here on the Ember.
Oh.
Goes for the duel. He gets it just in time, but the question is, do they have the damage, the silence? They commit the global. They want to guarantee it as it's going to go the way of the silencer.
Man, oh man, and unfortunately, well, Kataro, he's being very patient. He's not pushing into where he thinks his opponents are, and Gremlo's doing a good job setting up, but there's a blink dagger on this TA. If he sticks onto any of these heroes, this is going to look pretty scary for them, and unfortunately...
Ooh, Gremlo just two-shotted by Kataro. They're doing what they can to stay on top of Leo style, and there's going to be the Ravage. The question is, can they actually finish him off? There's just too much coming through from Kataro. The TA just takes him down one at a time, and now Crow all alone gives him a double kill. Razor on the backside wants to chase down Leo style, and it looks like he's gonna be able to do it. He's getting so close. No, the skewer from Frank. He gives him the tip. What a play. And now you're in as bad a spot as you could possibly be. Triple kill for Kataro. 10-1 and 4.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better TA game. It just feels like now there really isn't that easy answer. Of course, Lava still need to claim a lot of these towers. They need to get all of these buildings started, but at the same time, they are also probably going to look for an Aegis onto the TA, and then you really don't have that much time to work with. Monkey's, he's TPing top, but
oh, well, that has a skewer back into the RP, and Monkey's gonna go right back on Death Timer.
Oh boy. I mean, he didn't have birds, you know. Might as well be dead, I suppose, if you don't have your birds, but at the same time, it's just every single time they try to do anything in this game, it feels like they are losing their grip, and now Gremlo doesn't even get to be dueled by Leo.
He kills himself to prevent the duel. He's like, no, I'm going out on my own terms, buddy.
I mean,
more int going the way of Silence. I mean, this guy's stolen 28 intelligence this game. That is a lot. That is a big number.
I mean, he's 9, 5, and 12. He's been in a lot of these kills, and at the same time, he's got an Aether Lens on Silencer. He's just so far back in these fights, and there's no way Frank... Ooh, okay. Canis Vulpes was able to get that Remnant off, but there's no way that Moose is not going to just be incredibly confident here. He does so much damage, and at the same time, he doesn't even need to be the playmaker. He's just putting these last word curses on these heroes. You still have that silence multiplier in the damage, and unfortunately, without any BKBs queued up or coming up for any of these heroes on the Arkosh side, what do you do? It's already not a great BKB game. I mean, you're playing versus Techies, Legion Commander, and Magnus, but I also just don't know how they actually exist in a lot of these fights.
They managed to find the Silencer here, and Orchid reveal finally coming through from Monkeys Forever as it will grab them that kill. That's a big bounty going the way of Crow, actually, but backside of the fight, it's going to be the duel onto the Venomancer. He doesn't get any spells off as a result, but the Mind Stack takes down your Ravage. You got no team fight left. Monkeys, he's got to be careful, slowed up for the moment. They turn the silence out onto the TA, but instantly purged and just dives on him. MJZ finds the kill there on the Techies. Slack's voice line makes it just that much better. Oh no.
Well, now, I mean, Kataro, he's going to have triple meld on the Roche because he finds the Arcane Rune just in the nick of time, and unfortunately, what do you do? Frank's gonna have RP in 5 seconds. Kataro's about to have an Aegis. You're struggling to get anywhere on the map now. They picked this Venomancer with such confidence to try and take away the enemy part of the map, and for so long they were doing a good job of sectioning off Lava from actually getting into their jungle, but it just feels like they gave away what was their draft advantage, and now they're in a pretty ugly game where Kataro just gets to do whatever they want. And now, I mean, he's gonna have a Daedalus in 700 gold here, and then who lives?
Duel comes out once again with the global silence, and it's just used to find Canis Vulpes every single time. I mean, Leo style, we said early on, like, this guy balls out on Legion Commander mid every single time I've seen him, and he's owning. He's just always making sure to find the big kills.
When, what are they doing to Kataro mid? Of course, they're trying to waste his time a little bit, but
Skewer
then
pulls back, finds Crow. Ravage does come through, but the damage, it's got to come from somewhere. They're just going to go ahead and tunnel down Frank on this Magnus. He gets the RP. TA just laying into Pale Horse. Yule's going to be able to buy him some time, but Leo Style finishes the kill.
Do you want to complete this? Yeah, I didn't think so.
I was about to ask the same question. I was like, pretty sure Kataro just Mel strikes you and you die. Now you're just stuck top here on Gremlo.
I mean, this is with the techies. They don't have another hero here, of course. He's done a good job of taking away their jungle. And
right, Orbit comes through. He does have the Searing Chain still available, but with Leo Style just flexing on him. Oh my goodness, the damage comes from downtown.
Oh. Well, it's an Arkosh day. If I don't know, there's a Daedalus now on Kataro. He's working towards the Hurricane Pike as well, and sure, Lava aren't taking these buildings really at breakneck speed, but at the same time, every single hero is just so weak. They have so little armor, and you have the blink on Crow, sure, but you don't have Ravage for 80 seconds. It's not even a level 2 Ravage.
And run into Leo Style here, but he gets the blink out.
It's just too clean. It's just too easy, and now they're playing underneath the vision, already placed from Lava. They'd love to find the silencer again, but can they actually make this collapse work out? At the same time, they killed someone in the top lane, but okay.
They do manage to find the silencer, but you're in such a bad position on here.
Well,
and there it is. The blink duel into a quick kill for Kataro once again, and they're going to chase Crow down the lane.
Oh no, he got greedy. He had blink, but he wanted to try and cut the wave. He was playing with fire and gets 2-shot. Okay.
I don't know where their gem is. They did have... Okay, they managed to recover the gem here on Monkeys Forever, so they didn't lose that on top of the Venomancer. But Leo Style gonna turn the corner here, find Monkeys Forever. Doesn't have a duel. Silence comes through, but he gets off with the Blade Mail. And Monkeys just gets 2-shotted once again by Kataro. And what a sick prediction there from Frank. The Skewer sending him back. Gremlo walks in and drops the ult. And that is GG for game number 1 here.
What can you say? I mean, they have 2 kills per minute. They didn't have any real good idea to deal with this Kataro TA, a TA that we thought would be at least a little bit more countered when it actually broke out. And they had a good-looking early game. Canis Vulpes had some sick plays early on. It just felt like after a certain point, they just couldn't do very much. And even though they honestly counterpicked all 3 of their lanes, it felt like they were going to be set up for success here. It just doesn't pan out in their favor. And another hard loss for Arkosh, and feels like they're a little bit sick of it with these fast GGs. They just know when their numbers up, and it's another good lane from Monkeys, but unfortunately, you stick them on this Visage hero, and sure, you get something out of the lane. You even get a few nice kills here and there, but you're never able to translate that into a big push. Maybe if they had some hero like the Leshrac, they could finally get some of that good tower pressure going, but you look across the board, you also see Gremlo sitting at 0-13. It just feels like they got played and styled on by Lava.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're just playing on so many fragile heroes. Like you talked about this, they don't have a lot of armor built up on them, and it's not even the biggest issue. Like the TA early on, like they had some answers of dealing with it, but they never had an option to deal with Leo Style here on this Legion Commander. Anytime he wanted to dual target, he was gonna find it, and he found just so much extra damage. This game 130 by the time the game was over, but also Moose on the Silencer was constantly by his side. Everywhere they went as a pair. Just going pick off after pick off, and it's one of the reasons Gremlo has 13 deaths. Like he's trying to farm up in these triangle areas or anywhere in the jungle, but he's just happens to walk in and find Leo Style there waiting for him. And it's just a ton of space before for Kataro, and then once he finally has his items, it's just lights out. Like there's nothing left that Arkosh can do. They've just fell way too far behind. And Lava is the reason they were one of the top tier teams from South America for so long. And we're going to see them in game 2 here in just a moment, everyone. So stay tuned for more. We got a lot of Dota still to be played today on the Pro Series Season 9. Enjoy some tunes. We'll see you in a bit.